All right, getting back to that breaking news in Dare County, we're getting an update after a jury recommended the death penalty for Mikel Brady.
Yeah, that's starting right now, so let's listen in.
Or seek justice on behalf of those four families and what occurred on October the 12th, 2017. I think we told that story. I think we told it in a compelling manner to the jury. I think that they saw this case for exactly what it was, and they rendered the appropriate judgment and sentence in this case. Thank you.
30 minutes for the actual verdict and 30 minutes, give or take a few minutes, for the actual recommendation. Are you surprised that it was so quick on both counts?
I was not surprised with respect to the guilt-innocence. I thought that would not take very long, given the mounted evidence in the case. I was somewhat surprised in the sentence recommendation. Now, simply because there were so many questions that needed to be answered by the jury as they went through. Once again, this jury did a fantastic job. They paid attention for 3 weeks, and they heard and saw the mountain of evidence in the case and rendered an appropriate verdict. But simply because of the number of issues that had to be answered, I thought that it would take a little bit longer. Obviously, when it didn't, I was pretty well certain of what their recommendation was going to be.
Now that you have the leader of the pack, how does that bode for going forward the next three?
So let's only talk about Mr. Brady's case. Obviously, the other three are still pending, and Mr. Brady's case is different. Obviously, as you described him, he described himself as the pack leader. Obviously, there was a reason why we picked him first, and the reason was his involvement in all four of the murders of the corrections officers and the corrective enterprise staff and the maintenance workers. So very pleased with that outcome, and we're going to get back to work and get ready for the next trial.
When is the next trial?
It's currently scheduled for March the 3rd.
And can you talk a little bit about, you read that note from one of the fiancés of one of the victims. Can you kind of describe how that felt for you?
I cannot. I'm just glad that I made it through it, quite honestly. I had an opportunity I was handed that note right before the jury, as the jury was being polled, and I had an opportunity to read through it very quickly. And I knew that there were portions in there that were going to tug on heartstrings. And I have small children, and I'm a father, and so it's hard not to put yourself in her position with the loss of a loved one. And it was a very, very difficult letter to read, very difficult.
And what did you think about Brady's reaction when it was handed down?
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I was watching the jury. I did not see his reaction at all.
What about when he took the stand? I mean, like,
hearing that.
He told Alice, I mean...
All right, you've been listening to Andrew Wambo. He was the prosecutor in this case, and the big news out of North Carolina is that man right there, Mikel Brady, sitting there on the stand, has been given the death penalty by the jury in the Pasquotank Correctional Institution, the 4 murders that took place there in 2017.
30 minutes for the guilty verdict, 30 minutes on the sentencing phase, and the next trial for the other 3 charged in this case. The next one up will be in March.
In March. All right, we'll have much more coming up on 13 News Now at 6 o'clock and on 13newsnow.com.